Now, Prince William gives an update on how the new baby prince is doing just days after his birth.
She's a relatable young woman who's concerned about the world.
Priyanka Chopra is here with the nicest things to say about her friend and future royal Meghan Markle.
Plus, could Priyanka be a bridesmaid in that royal wedding?
All right, what's up with Kanye West? Why close sources are saying Kanye is on edge and hard to deal with right now.
And this groom, who was paralyzed playing football, walks down the aisle against all odds. It's going to leave you inspired and probably grabbing some tissues.
They always say the drama's heating up on the show, but is it really heating up this time?
Oh, it's heating up. Yep.
Real Housewives of New York City, Tinsley Mortimer is here with some tea to spill about Sonia Morgan and her complicated love life.
It is all today on People Now. Well, here we go. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Hello,
Halfway through already. Welcome to People Now. On Tuesday night, guys, in New York City, some of the most influential pioneers, leaders, artists, icons, they all came together to celebrate at the 2018 Time 100 Gala.
Yeah, so this year's list features Jennifer Lopez, Trevor Noah, John Krasinski, and many more. So to celebrate the honorees, we want to know, who do you think is the most influential person on the 2018 Time 100 list?
Wow.
It's a big decision. But let us know. Tweet us at People with the hashtag PeopleNow.
This is actually really tough.
It is really,
I'm
really
anxious
tough.
to see what people say. We're going to check in with you later, but first, here's what you need to know and what's trending for today. The last week has been a difficult one for the Kardashian West family after multiple sources told People that Kanye West has cut off contact with many people in his inner circle. He confirmed that he's stopped working with a manager. In a series of tweets, West says, "I no longer have a manager. I can't be managed." A few minutes later, he tweeted, "I'm nobody's client." He goes on to say, "Yes, I got rid of my last lawyer. Why? Because he wouldn't come to work full time. I also asked my last manager to come to work full time for Yeezy. Of course, the last lawyer and manager said no. So now I hired a CEO and a CFO, and I have 2 full-time lawyers as of now." So there's the update on the legal side. West continued Wednesday's Twitter rant, mainly talking about Yeezy, saying his brand is set to make $1 billion this year, going on to say that he's currently the single highest paid person in footwear. According to the sources, Kanye's also had multiple arguments with his mother-in-law, Kris Jenner. A source close to the situation saying, quote, "Kanye's had huge blow-ups with Kris. She sees how erratic he's acting and is most concerned about her daughter's brand. She's also trying to be a good mother-in-law, so he's having explosive issues with her too." A source close to Kanye says that while he can be eccentric and erratic, not everyone sees his latest actions as cause for concern. They say, quote, "A lot of this is just Kanye. He's always been like that. He stirs the pot." But another source and other sources are concerned about how excited West has been getting about his latest projects, revealing that he sometimes forgets to respect other people's boundaries. A friend of the rapper tells People, "I don't know if I've ever seen Kanye like this. He's all over the place, excited, loud. He's sleeping very little, texting at all hours of the day or night, coming up with ideas, sending them to people, and instructing everyone to drop everything and collaborate." Another source says everyone is super worried, saying, quote, "Kanye just looks at you with a void. It's like he's mute and can't talk, and he just stares at you." They go on to add, quote, "He genuinely believes that he's God and a genius." Multiple sources insist that West's behavior, while alarming, doesn't rise to the level of being dangerous, and that wife Kim Kardashian West is doing her best to be supportive, but that she's, quote, "trying to control him and the situation, but he can't be controlled." West's friend added that Kanye loves Kim very much and that he's excited about all of his kids and talks about them all the time. But regardless, Kim is right to be concerned because Kanye's not acting well and seems to be on the edge. That's that source's quote. And guys, you can stay on People.com as this story continues to develop. Now on to this. Earlier today, new dad of 3, Prince William, stepped out to attend an Anzac Day service at Westminster Abbey, alongside brother Prince Harry and sister-in-law-to-be, Meghan Markle. And as he arrived, he couldn't help but gush about his brand new little prince, born in London on Monday, of course. When asked about how the baby boy is doing, William said, "Very well, thanks." And he added, quote, "Sleeping's going reasonably well so far, so he's behaving himself, which is good." You can stay on People.com for all the latest, including all the details on the new prince's name when that is released. But there's one other thing that we want to know. How are the parents doing as they go from 2 to 3 little ones? Well, in this week's issue of People, we get to know a little more about what William and Kate are like behind the scenes. Tessie Ojo, who has gotten to know the couple well throughout her work as the CEO of the Diana Award charity, tells people, quote, "One thing with Prince William and the Duchess is that they are really hands-on parents, and they really take the time to understand the worlds of children and toddlers." Even Princess Diana, who relished everyday experiences with her boys, like visits to McDonald's and even theme parks, she relied on more household help than Kate, who has a full-time nanny and help from one nanny. Royal biographer Ingrid Seward notes how a former housekeeper recalled that when young William or Harry was sick over his bed, quote, "Charles and Diana had to change the sheets and they didn't even know where the clean sheets were." She says, "I can't imagine Kate being like that." So if William and Kate love being parents this much, could there be more children in their future? People are asking, but we say not so fast. Seward predicts that Kate will likely stop at 3. She explains, quote, "She had a very happy life as one of 3, and I think that she would be bringing that into her equation." She adds, William is like his father, saying the world is overpopulated and people shouldn't have vast families. Plus, we all remember how Kate suffered extreme morning sickness during the first trimester of all 3 of her pregnancies. All in all, Seward predicts, quote, "I think 3 will be enough for her." Well, both William and Kate will be taking some leave while they settle into life as a family of 5. We're likely to see their first outing together at Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's wedding on May 19th. We'll be watching. And as Harry and Meghan's big day approaches, you can keep up with all the latest on the flowers, the cake, the photographer, and more details on People.com. But what about that bridal party? Well, there have been a lot of rumors about who will actually be in Meghan Markle's bridal party, who will be the bridesmaids. And now actress Priyanka Chopra, Meghan's friend, is setting the record straight. Watch.
There have been rumors you might be a bridesmaid.
No, I'm not a bridesmaid.
You're not a bridesmaid,
No.
okay. But when you think about the wedding, what are you most excited about for this wedding and seeing your friend get married?
Well, it's so annoying. All my friends are getting married right now.
Oh,
and I have
no.
like 4 friends who got married in the span of this year, so I'm really upset about it. I'm just joking. No, I'm excited. I'm super excited about her and her big day, and I feel like, you know, it's not just going to be life-changing for both of them. I think it's life-changing for the world that needs to see strong women as icons, and I feel like Meghan has the potential to be that. She's just a really real girl, eventually.
Yeah.
She's a girl's girl. She's a relatable young woman who's concerned about the world just like you and I are, and that's what I love the most about her, and I feel like her authenticity is what's going to make her really stand out in this new life that she's going to take on.
Guys, now onto this. Marcia Gay Harden is opening up about her mother's struggle with Alzheimer's in a new memoir called The Seasons of My Mother. She's exclusively sharing excerpts from her book in the new issue of People. Harden's mother, Beverly, first exhibited symptoms of Alzheimer's during a plane ride years ago, experiencing an episode where she couldn't find her passport, even though she had put it in her purse just minutes before. This went on several times before the plane finally took off. Marcia admitting that she didn't think much of it at the time, ignoring the, quote, "small prick of warning that was going on in my brain." Her mother was officially diagnosed with the disease in her early 70s. Now, Marcia also painfully recalls the very first time that her mom forgot who she was. During a phone call, her mother said, quote, "I'm sorry, but who are you?" In reflection, Marcia says, quote, "I was prepared for it. It had been coming on gradually, so there wasn't really a shock. It's okay if you don't remember me," is what she said. "I will always remember you." Even though her mother's Alzheimer's has gotten progressively worse, Marcia says that her mother's core has remained the same. Beverly's love of the Japanese art of flower arranging called ikebana has remained, and in 2012, she was honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award by her group. Now today, Beverly lives with full-time care in the Texas house that Harden's grandfather built. Marcia currently lives in LA. She visits as often as she can, but through it all, Harden says that she's learned the importance of living in the moment and shares her mom's story in the hope of keeping her legacy alive. Guys, it's estimated that 5.7 million Americans live with Alzheimer's today, and for more information on the disease, you can visit the Alzheimer's Association's website at alz.org. And Andrea, you have even more trending news for us in Star Trek.
Yes, I do. It's Bond, Baby Bond. We are kicking off Star Treks with one expectant couple who can't wait to meet their new bundle of joy. Well, Rachel Weisz and Daniel Craig are one of Hollywood's most private couples, but the parents-to-be could not wait to share the news that they are expecting. Weisz gushed about her pregnancy to the New York Times, saying, quote, Daniel and I are so happy. We're going to have a little human. So according to one source, the pair, who live quietly together in New York City, have a solid marriage. And Vice tells the newspaper that, quote, having a child is a natural step. We can't wait to meet him or her. Well, Craig shares a 25-year-old daughter with ex-wife Fiona Lodon, while Vice has an 11-year-old son with director Darren Aronofsky. The actress wed the James Bond star in 2011, just 6 months after they first began dating. Vice tells The Times she's extremely happy being married, adding, quote, Daniel and I are really similar. Well, big congrats to the happy couple. Very happy for them. All right, Dulé Hill and Jasmine Simon have officially tied the knot. The couple wed on April 21st in a beautiful ceremony in the Garden of the Capuchinas in Antigua, Guatemala. The duo said their I do's in front of friends and co-stars, including West Wing actors Allison Janney and Richard Schiff, as well as Psych co-star James Roday. Very fun reunion for those guys. Love that they're jamming out with the DJ. And as for the location of the ceremony, Simon told People, quote, I found out about the beautiful ruins in Antigua by fate. The Capuchinas was built in 1736 and suffered 2 massive earthquakes. But after 243 years, the building is still standing. I thought, what better physical representation of the love Dulé and I have for one another, that no matter how many storms come, how the world will shake, our love will stand the test of time. When I explained that to Dulé, he said, let's do it. She thought that was romantic. Dulé said the best part of the day was seeing his bride walk down the aisle. Simon wore a beautiful Berta gown, and she didn't let the unpredictable weather affect her fashion. She says, when I walked down the aisle, it was a few clouds, but a beautiful sun shining down on us. As we started the ceremony, the storm clouds started rolling in. Both Dulé and I were crying while we were reciting our vows, and I wasn't sure if it was raindrops or tears falling on my shoulders. We finished our vows, exchanged rings, and shared our first kiss as husband and wife. Once the last 2 members of the bridal party exited the garden, the sky opened up and it started raining. The pair decided to take that as a good sign. You know what? So do we. Congrats to the happy newlyweds. Well, Anne Hathaway is not letting body shamers cramp her style. The actress rocked an amazing studded Bottega Veneta dress to Comic-Con in 2018 in Las Vegas on Tuesday. The dress is decked out with mixed metal studs in shades of rose gold, gunmetal, gold, and silver, and hit her perfectly at the ankle. She also accessorized the sleeveless number with super chic gold hoop earrings and satin peach pumps. Now, Anne appeared at the event with her all-female Ocean's 8 cast, minus Rihanna, walking down the red carpet with Sarah Paulson, Mindy Kaling, Sandra Bullock, Cate Blanchett, and Awkwafina. Gotta say, very fashionable cast right here. Anne's stylish night out comes just 2 weeks after she shared this post of herself working out on Instagram, letting fans, and most importantly, body shamers know that she's in the process of gaining weight for a new movie role. She made it clear that she's over body-shaming trolls by captioning the post, to all the people who are going to fat shame me in the upcoming months, it's not me, it's you. Peace. Gotta say, Anne is definitely enjoying the last laugh because she looks fabulous, and she always does. And those are your Star Treks for today.
Love her saying it like she sees.
Yeah.
Stay with us. Carrie Underwood is back in the spotlight, and we're revealing why she is not done talking about her accident. Plus, we're talking about the incredible moment where a paralyzed groom walks down the aisle with his bride. You do not want to miss this.
All right, let's check in on our question of the day. To celebrate last night's Time 100 Gala, we want to know, who do you think is the most influential person on this year's list?
All right, Mariad says Pink, which is a great choice, especially on the
beautiful
cover
issue, yeah.
of People, the whole thing.
Another user votes Yara Shahidi, who is, I really like
Great
her.
choice. Ali adds Sterling K. Brown. He's so inspirational and humble. Nice choices. And he can do the single tier.
Yeah.
So honestly,
I'm kind of voting for Jennifer Lopez.
I saw her there. I knew it. No, seriously, J-Lo, it's hard for her not to top.
Well, she's had a great
lot of
year.
the
She's had a great last couple years, or actually life. She's had
She's
a great life.
and a great life continues. I mean, look, when someone can tweet out or put out whatever they want about their relationship or a product or whatever, and it just sets the internet on fire, that's when you know they're very influential, at least in the pop culture sense.
That's my
She's
vote.
right at the
Do
top.
you
of
have
that
a different vote, or is
No,
that?
I'm going with her too.
Wow, both going with J-Lo.
We're rallying around J-Lo.
Let us know though what you think.
Yeah, for sure.
If it's J-Lo or not.
Check back in with you a little bit later, but first we're going to move on to this.
Yes, Carrie Underwood is back and feeling beautiful.
The country star has returned to the spotlight after revealing that she'd taken a hard fall back in November, leaving her with a broken wrist and 40 to 50 stitches on her face.
An insider close to the singer told People, quote, she had extensive reconstruction done around her mouth area and lips, but the doctors did a really great job, obviously.
Yeah, adding that she looks gorgeous in person. That's how they put it.
Another source says Underwood was terrified of people seeing her scars, but is is relieved to have her first public appearance since the accident behind her.
But the star insists that her hiatus from showing her face wasn't because she was hiding her injuries from the world. She tells iHeartRadio's Bobby Bones show that she was lucky that when the accident happened, everything was shutting down in the music world. So it was kind of good timing in that way.
Yeah, so even though Underwood is ready to move on from the accident, she says she's not sure if she'll ever be done talking about it because it was, quote, an event in her life.
But the accident isn't slowing down her workouts. Underwood just launched her athleisure line's Kalia by Carrie fall-winter campaign shoot, looking good in all the different looks.
Yeah,
here.
and the good news, you guys can work out while listening to her upcoming 6th studio album, Cry Pretty. It's out September 14th.
All right, happy that she's back.
Yeah, definitely.
Now we move on to this. Watch.
One of her friends said, you know, your mom's famous. And she was like, what? And she's like, Mama, what does that mean? And what are you famous? And I was like, oh, am I having this conversation? I was like, it's not that. It's just I work where people see it. And then they just kind of know who I am. And no one knows who I am at school. Because I go there, I have it like, you know, I have a mom bun. I'm filthy.
Just as dirty as could be.
All the time. I never wear makeup. I dress like a schlub. And like the one time I think I went to her school after being there for almost 2 years now, I had come from a work thing and I had my hair down and I had makeup on and I was so self-conscious about it. And I go and I sit at the lunch tables to wait for her to come out and it was like this like swarm of like 5th graders just were like, are you? And I'm like, I work with you in the library like all the time. You see me all the time.
Look, I love the story, but I have a hard time believing Christina Applegate can go incognito at her daughter's school.
I don't know if I buy it, maybe. But the Emmy Award-winning actress is pretty recognizable. But nowadays, she's just happy being seen as mom.
Yeah, but does her daughter Sadie already have her eyes on Hollywood? Here's what she had to say.
She's very entertaining and she's got a lot of accents in her repertoire and she's very, she's such a goofball. She loves playing piano. That's really kind of what she loves doing right now. She thinks she's going to be a singer. Okay. But if she wanted to be an actress, I have a very strict rule of that she can study acting until she's 18. And then if she wants to have that as a job, then she has the right to make that decision. But under my roof, you train and you become the best that you can be.
Oh, yeah.
But also have a good education because guess what? You probably ain't gonna make it. Like, you know what I mean? The chances of being successful in this business it's really, really hard.
Okay, what I really love about Christina Applegate, though, is that she's not afraid to speak her mind, especially when it comes to her health.
Yeah, the actress has been open about surviving breast cancer, her struggles with insomnia, and recently revealed that she had her ovaries and fallopian tubes removed because she carried that BRCA1 gene mutation.
Yeah, Applegate revealed why it's so important to her to speak out about her personal health.
If you do have a voice to do it, you know, which we are fortunate to have this platform to be like, I'm just like you know what I mean? I can't sleep. I feel like crap a lot of the time because of this, but I want you to feel okay about it and not feel shame about it and get information about it so that you can have a better quality of life. And the same goes for my battle with cancer. You know, when I first came out about my breast cancer, I really didn't want to talk about it, but I had to because young women were getting it and people weren't understanding that. They weren't understanding that women that were 36 were getting breast cancer or 28 were getting breast cancer and they were opting not to have MRIs when they knew they were high risk because of the cost. My activism came out of like this, like, it wasn't even about me. It was like, whoa, wait, are you telling me? You're telling me that like women are not even opting for this because it's too expensive? Oh, no. It just saved my life. You know, MRI saved my life. Had I waited for my mammogram, I would be dead right now.
Wow.
So for me, it was a very important thing to start that. And then, you know, talking about all the other things I've gone through in the last few months.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's incredible. And also, you're looking out for other women. I mean, you're a mom, you have a daughter, Sadie, which we
That's why I talked about my ovaries was because, you know, that was also something very private, but I just found myself like, yeah, I guess you should know. Like I took my ovaries and my fallopian tubes out in September and I'm going through menopause and let's talk about that. Let's talk about what that's like, you know, at 40 something to be, you know, going through that and that you're okay. You're not alone.
And with those things, how are you doing now? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm in menopause, hey.
I now pronounce you husband and wife. Kris, you may kiss your bride.
As one of the big moments, almost 200 guests watched tearfully as Chris Norton and Emily Summers exchanged wedding vows on April 21st, then prepared to walk down the aisle for the first time as a married couple.
Yeah, but for them, the moment was extra special because it's something Chris thought would never happen. For the past 7 years, 26-year-old Chris has been confined to a wheelchair after a 2010 football accident left him paralyzed from the neck down.
Instead of getting my head in front of the ball carrier, like I've been coached to do and I've done thousands of times, my head collides right with his legs. And instantly, I lose all feeling from my neck down and all movement. I hear a teammate right above me, he's like, "Come on, Chris, get up, let's go." And I'm trying to push off the ground, but nothing's working. It felt as if someone just like turned the power off to my body.
Well, after he was airlifted to a hospital, doctors discovered Chris had suffered a spinal cord injury that left him with a 3% chance of ever moving anything below his neck again.
Yeah, but Chris wasn't going to accept that and started making goals for himself, enduring countless hours in grueling physical therapy, first to return to college, then to walk across the stage at graduation, and finally to walk down the aisle at his wedding to his dream girl, Emily.
It's such a remarkable story. The two met in 2013 while online dating. Chris says that he knew she was the one who was drawn to her compassion, her work ethic, her empathy, and the fact that she didn't even notice his wheelchair.
That's amazing. And for 25-year-old Emily, she says she fell in love with his motivation, how when he set his mind to something, nothing could stop him from achieving it.
Yeah, Chris says that the couple wants to, quote, give people hope and inspiration that they can overcome anything that they're going through. He adds that there have been a lot of moments where we've struggled, but anything is possible if we don't give up.
Yeah, the couple is even raising 5 foster children, something Emily has always wanted to do, who are all under the age of 8.
Wow.
That's a lot.
It's remarkable. And Chris says, quote, here's his quote for that. "We want to be an example that life can be remarkable. I'm so blessed and happy with where I am."
I mean, it's such a beautiful story.
It really is.
Really.
And guys, you can tune into People TV for more on Chris's fight to walk again and his remarkable love story with Emily. Guys, Cleveland kidnapping survivor Michelle Knight spent 11 years as one of Ariel Castro's prisoners.
Yeah, but 5 years after escaping that house of horrors, she has a new lease on life.
Michelle, who has since changed her name to Lily Rose Lee, has found love in her husband of nearly 2 years, Miguel, and is chronicling the road to where she is now in her upcoming memoir. It's called Life After Darkness.
Yeah, she also sat down with People to tell more of her harrowing story.
Now, understandably, the ghosts of Michelle's unfortunate past, they still haunt her. Watch.
She says that there are still triggers.
Certain TV shows I will not watch because of certain things that are in it. I could watch some horror flicks, but I can't watch them all because either they have chains, guns, you know. I just choose not to watch them because I don't want to put myself in a position to where I am putting myself backwards.
She used to be afraid of cloth napkins because Ariel would gag her with these napkins. And so when she'd go into a restaurant, she would have them remove the cloth napkins. She couldn't even look at them.
Well, in addition to her phobias, Michelle started to drink to cope with the stress of reliving her ordeal after releasing her first memoir, Finding Me, in 2014.
She's checked herself into a Nashville treatment center specializing in treating people who have experienced a lot of trauma.
Yeah, so during her month-long stay, she took part in the equine therapy program and bonded with a horse named Waylon, who she was assigned to tell her trauma stories to.
So her time with the horse changed her life, and her love of animals is still strong to this day because, as she says, animals, quote, will always love you unconditionally.
Yeah, so after leaving rehab, Michelle changed her name to kick off the beginning of her new life.
Then she met her husband, Miguel, and her life changed yet again in the most incredible way.
Yeah, so today, Lily says that her life is, quote, so filled with joy right now, and she wants to share that joy with the world.
My wedding was the most extraordinary and heartwarming, oh my gosh, explosive day ever.
She met Miguel on Facebook. They had mutual friends. She said it was instant. They just knew. They are happily married. They live in this beautiful home. There's a pinball machine. They're having fun.
Despite everything Lily has been through, she now feels like she's living her best life.
My healing is never done, but I love my life. I love where it's going. I love everything about it. It's just full of peace and joy, and I want to keep it that way.
She talked about you horribly. What'd she say? She's like, well, she didn't buy that gift card. She doesn't buy anything. You know, Tinsy came to New York for one thing, to get a man to pay for everything. He pays for her rent. He pays for her room. He pays for the gift card. So insinuating like you're a kept woman.
Wait, what? Oh, yes, Tinsley. You should know by now the drama does not stop in the Big Apple.
You can say that again. The New York City housewife spilling all the tea with us on this explosive season, including her decision to freeze her eggs and an update on her current relationship with on-again, off-again boyfriend Scott. Watch this.
Scott and I are very close. I still work for his company, Coupon Cabin. I am an account manager for them, but you know, you're just gonna have to wait and see. Sometimes the heart gets what it wants, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay, but you took some time off. How do you think that time off helped you guys in your relationship?
Sometimes I think time off is a good thing. It puts things in perspective, and you start to miss people, and you know, it's tough. But you know, he lives in Chicago, I live in New York, and relationships are hard when you have the long distance, even though it's only about 2.5 hours away.
No, but that distance can be significant. Is there a way that you know, at any level of relationship, what do you do to make that work?
You try to see each other as much as possible, and you know,
FaceTime.
I don't. Wait, I don't do FaceTime. No.
Oh yeah.
I know. You have to like sit like this. Like get the lighting, lie down, and like look amazing.
Yeah, right.
But no. Yeah. No. I just look. At least Chicago is not that far away. It's not like I have to fly all the way to Europe. So
okay.
We'll see.
Let's move on to this. In last week's episode, you said that you froze your eggs pretty much because your mom pressured you to do it, right? Forced you to do it. So tell me about that, and maybe any conversation that you and Scott have possibly had about starting a family.
Scott and I are very close, and we have talked about things like that, and we'll see. But my mom was actually, I am so grateful that she did. She was like, before you turn 40, I don't want 40-year-olds. I just get them out as young as you can possibly be. So before I turned 40, which was now like 2 years ago or so,
no shame in that.
She made me, she was just very adamant about me doing it, and I did it, and I'm so grateful I did it. It was no big deal, really, it wasn't.
Was it not? Because my friend did it, and it was so painful. She gained weight, she was really emotional.
Yeah.
You didn't have that experience.
I didn't have that experience. It was no big deal to give myself a shot in the stomach, and then it was for like a couple weeks or a month or so, or a month and a half. They extracted them. I mean, that was a little bit painful, but it was fine. It was totally worth it, and now they're just on ice and they're waiting for.
Good for you.
Wow, that's good to hear, though.
Yeah.
The last account I heard was not so pleasant.
No, and I wasn't. I thought I would gain weight. I thought I'd be really emotional because I am emotional just in general. But it was great for me. Maybe those hormones. Maybe I need those.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the problem.
There you go, you heard it. Freeze those eggs. And Tinsy also teased all the OMG drama happening tonight when she finally confronts her former roommate, Sonia Morgan. Turns out she has zero regrets for how things go down.
I don't like to be confrontational, and I don't like to argue with my friends. But when a friend constantly is lying about you and saying things that are just untrue and seemingly trying to hurt you and be negative, it's hard to hold your tongue and hold back. And this episode coming up tonight is I can't hold back, and I do let her have it, but I actually wish I went further, honestly.
Oh, really?
I'm like, I'm mad, and look, also Dorinda does kind of stir the pot a little bit because she's the one that had talked to Sonia prior and had gotten these sort of information that she was saying this negative stuff about me. So, but Dorinda's good at that, and I'm glad she did because I needed to go there, and I'm okay with it. Sonia and I will always be close. We're like sisters. I mean, we fight like that, but I just don't like to be lied about. So don't imply that I'm basically like a kept woman, and don't imply that I only live off family money. It's just not. That's not true.
It gets into a lot of touchy things. Now, here's the interesting thing. Sonia was here recently, and she said that she thought that you guys were in a good place, and she said that you'd always have a special place in her heart. So I don't know. What's your reaction to hearing that she said those kind things about you, especially in light of what you just said?
No, the point is that look at this time going on right now, what we've where we are right now on the show. There were issues, and definitely there were. I was very upset with her, but Sonia and I will always be close. She's like the yin to my yang. There is no. I mean, we're sisters. We're great. It's just that we have moments. We all do. And if you're going to talk about me and not be truthful, then I can't sit by and let you do that. So.
Yeah, let's talk about Carol. You've gotten really close with Carol. So I know that you don't like to be confrontational, but she's had a little issues with Bethany. So do you find it hard to not take sides in those situations?
You know, look, the Bethany Carol situation is completely separate from my relationship with Carol. I mean, obviously, I became close with Carol because she set me up with Scott. And we then took a couple trips together in the summer after we were filming and everything, and I adore her. You know, I can't say of course, you know, I am Team Carol, always will be. But you know, honestly, their relationship between, you know, she and Bethany, it's sad. I really hope that they work things out, and I don't like for any, I've only known them being so close. And when I came into this, they were best of friends. And so I don't like to see anything deteriorate or fall apart for some reason, but I just hope the best for them. And, you know, my relationship with Carol is just separate from that.
All right, guys, this just in. Did Prince William just reveal a major hint about his newborn son's name?
We're all watching closely and listening closely. He arrived at the Anzac Day of Commemoration and Thanksgiving at Westminster Abbey on Wednesday with brother Prince Harry and Meghan Markle.
Yes, he greeted Meghan Markle with a sweet kiss on the cheek and fielded questions about the name of his newborn son.
So, someone in the crowd suggested the little prince's name could be Alexander. William replied, quote, "Funny you should say that."
Uh-oh.
So, hey, maybe a subtle hint that we're reading into. I don't know, but it's
yeah,
fun.
and in fact, Alexander is big brother Prince George's middle name. Alexander is believed to have been picked by the couple to honor the queen, whose middle name is Alexandra.
Makes
so
sense.
It does make sense.
The royal baby's name can be announced today, as the names of siblings George and Charlotte were also announced 2 days after their birth.
Yeah, so British odds makers have been busy making predictions.
Yeah, lots of money floating around here.
Albert and Arthur were tied at one point as the most popular names. Philip is also a contender, and it would follow tradition since William's full name is William Arthur Philip Louis. Guess we'll have to wait and see.
Can there be a better royal name? William Arthur Philip Louis. Whatever.
I don't
Anyway,
know.
so great. Can't wait to find out.
I like Alexander.
I think they keep us waiting on purpose. They know we're all like so anxious to see, and anyway, we'll see. Anyway.
Yeah.
Check in on our question of the day one more time, guys. In honor of last night's Time 100 Gala, we asked you guys, who do you think the most influential person on this year's list
Yeah,
is?
Marie says Kumail Nanjiani for The Big Sick. It was amazing.
All right,
yeah.
and we also have some stuff going on the social computer. People talking about Kanye West and Kanye himself tweeting. Here we go. More tweets from the sunken place at his house, inside of his house. What does it mean?
And then Kim
okay,
says,
yeah.
babe, we had a rule to not show our home on social media, so can we now follow Keeping Up with the Kardashians filming in the home?
Okay.
Can we allow it? Yeah.
Okay, then Kim. Oh, relax. I'm joking. Seriously, you can't have a personality on social media these days. You're called bizarre or disturbing.
Because Kim will often respond his tweets and say things about them, and then people think that she's serious.
And she there is responding to the Daily Mail, tweeting Kim Kardashian scolds Kanye, kind of responded to that tweet. Here's the thing. I don't think it's like Kim. That was obviously a joke. It's not really like her to put it out there in that way, but nonetheless. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. It's great to see you. We'll be keeping up on the Kardashians in every way while we're gone.
And here is one last thing from Paige Davis. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Paige Davis, and this is One Last Thing. My last guilty pleasure TV show was The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Just a love letter to New York. So beautiful, so stylized. The colors, and Tony Shalhoub. I mean, come on. The last time I disagreed with one of my Trading Spaces co-stars, I can't really remember the last time I did that, but I can assure you whenever it was Doug. The last song stuck in my head, this is an easy one. Rich Girl, Hall & Oates, because we were remembering a time when my makeup artist, Randall, was telling me very clearly, like, you need to turn off your phone. Be sure you turn off your phone. And right after he told me that, we went live, and his phone was not off, and his song started launching into, his phone launched into Pandora, playing as loud as could possibly be.